Hello everyone and welcome back finally to Star Wars Empire at War with Zsinj's Empire. I do apologise for the break. I was on a holiday for 2 weeks, but we're back now and we're ready to get back straight into the action where previously we did take Ord Mantell as Zsinj's Empire, of course, seizing a major credit production world and a major choke point planet between the core worlds over here and the Pentastar alignment. So that's going to have to be shored up on the defences there. But once we take Ord Cantrell over here, Arinda and Bilbringi eventually, we will be getting a huge amount of credits. And of course, Boleas over here, because of the massive trade bonus we get, we have to make a trade hub over here. It's just, it's the law. You have to on Ord Mantell. So that's going to make a lot of money for us. It's got a lot of production slots as well, so we're going to be able to defend that quite easily if we have a good standing garrison there, which I think we'll double check to improve very soon. We also managed to take Mon Calamari from the New Republic, so we're going to try and aim for Mintooine today, I think, while their standing garrison isn't actually huge there. While we took Mon Calamari, we also killed off Kyle-Katarn and another hero for that faction, so that's absolutely brilliant. And once we've taken Mintooine, we certainly want to think about perhaps taking Boonta and maybe Delacrix over here, so that we do remove the New Republic completely from this sector of the galaxy and push them back that much further. It would be very useful for us indeed. But of course, there's the problem with the more aggressive your expansion has to be, the more and more it has to be just to keep up with that. It's like a domino effect, really, isn't it? The more planets you take, the more you need to push back the enemy to ensure your own safety, because you open up new avenues for the enemy to attack you there. So I think Boonta would be very good to take. This is independent. No, that belongs to the Hutts, so probably want to take Messalorn at some point as well. Although I don't think they want to take Centaurs anytime soon. But you know, the enemy, the AI makes fleets and invading forces to really push back what you have on your planet. So they'll come with something quite substantial if they see that over there. So we'll have to be on the ball there. But I think today Mintooine is what we're going to go for. Maybe even Mercana to get rid of the CSA completely as well. So let's start, bring back these forces, bring our administrator over. And we can start building the necessary planets over here. Do we get anything substantial from here? They help victory variants, which is very useful. And just for that, really, we might as well pick that up, because that helps the influence as well on Mon Calamari. So yeah, we'll pick that up. Certainly. We do have some more constructions going through just to help our infrastructure score. That's just some spaceports and such throughout our territory. So our income's not exactly there at the minute, but we're about to tick over with the cycle. We do have a lot of spy droids about to be created, and that is so we can raid the previous Hapan space over here, which the Imperial Remnant has in fact invaded. That's just to stop any production, get rid of that allegiance if we manage to. There's another allegiance there. Just to push back their production so that we can be a bit safer in this sector of the galaxy ourselves. What are we doing over here? Let's then get these spying. Just want to spy just to make sure they don't have any nasty hypervelocity cannons about for us, and so that we can see exactly what we're invading. I want to know what these are doing on Ordo. I think they were from the Abura Sky invasion, perhaps. What exactly was that? I think I want to bring these over to Ord Mantell, actually. Maybe sell off this LAV chariot and bring these over to Ord Mantell. Would be quite useful. So, what do we have on Galanor? Not a lot. Let's immediately pull in and raid that. Pulled in with our interdictor, so we're going to immediately use the gravity well there. We're going to turn the camera around, of course, and it's great to catch these allegiances while they're isolated like this, so that they don't form a mega fleet with multiple allegiances, because that is just the last thing we want. Let us pull in, and we want this Tector towards the flank there. And yeah, that will certainly do. Get some Lancers up, of course. Lancers are great. I want some victories over here. Lovely. Come on, I can't drag that in because we've got pop cats. So this young person should boost our damage from all of our capitals, which is excellent when you have something as big as this to take on the enemy. Let's focus this down, shall we? Get on some sort of hard points there. Pull those in. What fighters and bombers do we have? Let's pull these over. Let's stop. And stop. Stop. Don't want you to get too close. There we go. Look at that. Absolutely brilliant there. We shall rip that allegiance apart. Very, very nicely indeed. That shouldn't even scratch our shields. You love to see it. And the cinematic view actually working very nicely for us there. Usually it follows fighters and bombers quite erratically, I find. Oh, we're not doing too well with our formation here. Pull that over. Yeah, absolutely ripping that apart. And able to focus multiple hard points here. Very, very nice indeed. The heavy quad turbo lasers being ripped apart. And it's just something to make sure we don't get any surprise attacks ourselves. Of course. Get on top of his carrots, I think, with our victory twos. Ripping apart the Dreadnaughts here. Zenkin's doing a great job with his Praetor 2. And there goes the Allegiance. Absolutely brilliant that we can get rid of that so easily. Because they are rather difficult most of the time, and these are really pushing it. Okay. Not a bother. Not a bother. We'll rip apart his carracks. And we'll move on to the next planet.
Excellent shot.
I got it
for another attack.
Falling out of formation. Sir, and intercepting. Sir, enemies in range.
I got one.
Getting a lot.
With the core Hapan territories raided successfully, we're going to attack Coliphor and pull back to our own territories to defend and recoup. We might even think about taking the Hapan territories because on the ground so far they're not very well defended at all from the Imperial remnants. So it should be a fairly easy takeover. If we start planet hopping, we can take that fairly quickly, I think. So we'll take Mintooine, I think, first because that was our primary goal for today. And we can have a look at taking that because it'll be a lot of production and a lot more credits for us, of course. And that'd be very, very useful indeed. Very defensible as well if you build it right as the Hapan territory. Just going to rip through this once again at Coliphor. Just make sure we're taking on the correct areas here. Might as well full power to weapons with our victories. And get through this. So the idea of coming from Coliphor is because it's another avenue straight to our territory as well that the Imperial Remnant can use to attack. And of course it reduces their production as well. And that's going to be a lot of credits that the AI has to use to recoup their losses now with all these space stations. A few capital tier space stations as well in the Hapan territories. So it's a lot of money they've got to use to recoup those losses, as we say.
Interceptor here.
It's going to be very, very juicy reward for us then, with 0 losses ourselves as well. So this is a great little raiding fleet we have here, with all of the bonuses we get from the tier 3 command of Zenkins in this Tector hero, and of course the command as well as the gunnery lead from this hero here. All works very nicely together. So long as we don't find anything too hefty, of course, ourselves, but we'll see about that when we get to it. Might be an idea to raid Corrida, but I think we'll come back and not push our luck so far. We'll keep an eye with our spy over here on Galanor. So as you can see, there's 0 really standing ground units on any of these planets, but they do have a good amount of production lined up. So it's not as easy as we're giving it credit for, but I think really we're going to move straight over to Mintooine. Looks like they've moved that capital tier ship so it should be slightly easier to take. They don't have any ground to orbit guns either. We could be tempted to take this by stealth, but really it's just safest to take this standard route. We're going to want to increase our infantry over here though first, I think. If we do that over here, and maybe some tanks. I think we should be fine with that if we just improve our infantry there. We do have a lot of vehicles otherwise. But yeah, let's move straight on over and at least get the orbital space from Mintooine. So I've just got to refresh my memory of exactly how this fleet does look. I'm going to bring out all of these cruisers so we do have more bombers available. And of course bring out some Nebulons and Lancers for point defense. Push those forwards a tiny bit here. I think really we're going to want to start going towards Kuat so we can get that Corona frigate as well, because that is absolutely a top tier frigate, corvette style ship there for point defense, and providing some fighters as well. What else do we want? Some surveys would be great for the minor ships that they're going to spit out, and we'll get some more healing going on as well in this area. Might as well bring our dragon there. So, we do have an Empress class station. Very nasty thing indeed. We do have a recusant, or Providence rather, should know that. But that's going to be ripped apart very, very quickly indeed. If we move these two ships here to start taking on the MC-90, called the Yavin, interestingly enough, get full power of weapons there. We should really be microing our bombers a tiny bit better here. Pull them back actually, to give them a quick heal. And we get some Raptors into enemy bombers over here. We see some B-Wings, very nasty ships indeed. Let's get these gunboats over. How we're doing here? They're full power to shields, but that'll be ripped apart. Not a bother. Let's get onto this majestic cruiser with our bombers. We just go for the flank actually with that, so we get the most splash damage out of that. We can see loads of bombers coming in here. Let's get on top of these Y-Wings. Raptors are taking on those, not a bother. How are we looking for our own frigates here? House of weapons. Get this going to reduce accuracy of incoming missiles and torpedoes. Lovely stuff. What do we have over here? We have some Coronas of the enemies there. Very, very useful. Quite a mix of weapons as well there. Let's get... do we have the surveys actually? They can start firing onto those. The Argave there. And there we go, lovely stuff. How are we doing over here? Let's get on top of... is anything lost its shields over here? No, not yet. Let's get rid of the turbo lasers here. These two here can fire onto this majestic. In fact, that's nearly down. Don't need to worry too much there. Lovely. Ripping through the shields. That's just taking a massive load of torpedoes by the looks of it there. Lovely. Get on top of the medium lasers. In fact, the slug throwers would be quite nasty as well. Let's get rid of those. Great stuff. That's assault frigates down. Love to see it. How we're doing across the board? Not too bad. Might want to start microing a little better over here again though. Let's get on top of some bombers, shall we? How are we doing with these? I think power to shields there and pull back to our flank with the Lancer there. Micro the Nebulons to fire at these. Defender Starfighters. Really should have activated this ability ages ago, but no, we'll do it now. Try and catch this. Get some money off of that. Only 13 credits though, but it does add up. Okay, let's pull our bombers through. Yeah, get on top of these. It looks like we've just got some fighters and bombers in our flanks there. A few more B-Wings coming through though. So let's pull the TIE fighters forward. Get on top of this. And might as well burst heal while we're in range. And pull these forwards and just start stripping the shields onto the golem base there. Not that that's really going to do too much damage there. Yeah, let's get on top of this over here. Do we have any minor frigates that our surveys can fire onto that I gave there? Does that come with point defense? It does. It's down now. Destroyed a Corona, and that is the greater amount of ships destroyed there. So, just need to push forwards really. I'll give everyone a move forwards over here and then start microing some fighters a bit better. Let's get on top of these bombers a bit better. Try and pull back, actually. Are we in range of a burst hill there? Most things do. Get on top of these bombers, please.
Target locked.
There's nothing really more significant for these bombers to hit, so I'm not so worried about them. Really not so worried about them at all. Getting rid of these. The Lancer's doing excellent work. And I haven't noticed that we've lost any frigates. Now, these don't come with point... Oh, they do come with point defense. Excellent. We really should have been incorporating these a lot sooner then. A lot earlier. That's an oversight on my part then, because these surveys can really rip apart minor frigates quite well, actually.
Excellent shot.
We can see how we're bumping up here and grouping up, but not a bother. We'll just get a little closer, push these forward to get on top of any fighters and bombers.
We're here. Advancing.
Engines activated.
Skip ray blast boat here.
I think we might want to just... It doesn't really matter that we're grouping up here. It brings up our point defense, if anything. Having said that, that got through quite easily. It's not like there's loads and loads of torpedoes and missiles coming off of this Empress. It's mostly lasers. We're going to rip through those shields quite easily once we activate our powerful weapons now. So if we just bring this forward a tad and source out our formation a little bit. Where are the Nebulons? Bring those forwards. Bring that over here. That should be okay, so just bring straight on over. Lovely. Let's push up with these. Easy game. Yeah, we got through the shields fairly easily there. If we start microing with these a little harder then, we get hold of this group of Star Destroyers and start targeting some hard points there. You can see it is trying to heal through. If we concentrate our firepower, it's really not going to be a bother whatsoever. And you'd love to see us get rid of the fighter base, they stop spitting out fighters and bombers. There's another one over here in this bay. And I think we've actually ripped through most of them anyway. Not a bother. And that should be most of the facing hard points there. How are we doing against this golem? Not very well. And that will start ripping apart our hero. So just bring him back. We'll push up with this group to take on that golem there.
Yes, Commander. I'm on
That's not to be a bother.
Those torpedo launchers must be
We'll move a few ships, of course, over to destroy the Dreadnaught capable shipyard there. We do just have a lot of Krellian corvettes and such here, so our fighters are going to get ripped apart if they start moving there. We have removed the engines here. We need to push up and start targeting a little better. Let's use the sensor jamming over here. Yeah, that's done just in time, I think, really. Okay, let's start peppering the shields once again. We can move up to destroy the shipyard there, I think. Alright, that's just about getting away there. Not a bother. Powers of weapons, strip through everything very nicely indeed. Yeah, and he'll get out. Lovely stuff, because that was a hero. And that would have been very embarrassing to lose him. Rather a shame, actually. He's quite a decent hero, providing some command. I think he was a pirate that we paid for as well. Lovely stuff. That would be Mintooine's orbital space taken very nicely. And we did, very luckily, only lose that one Lancer, which is excellent stuff. Very close to losing that hero, but we did manage to react to that just in time, I think. Much longer that would have been taken down. So just going to wait for our infantry to recruit over here before we take Mintooine. What can we do in the meantime is the question. Well, I want to start getting a ground force ready over here. So let's produce some Commando Mandalorians and some Canderous tanks. Some more Raptors would be great as well. And Auxilia is good for producing as well. So you're going to produce 2 of these SPMATs. We're going to produce 2 Imperial dropships. And is there anywhere else I might want to create something? Where's our Hut hero actually? So over at Generis, someone's lost a lot of heroes there.
Artillery online.
Drop these down, and that's great stuff. So what else might want to put on here? Might want to put some SPMAT, really, might we? That'd be very useful. Might even sell off the repulsors here. I don't know, they work quite well with the ULAVs actually. Might even sell off a ULAV there. But that should be okay for our infantry over here. So let's collect these. Collect everything else over here as well. Because you're going to want to take everything. We can start to invade Mintooine very nicely indeed. That should not be too difficult. Some fairly nasty vehicles will come out. A lot of light nasty vehicles which the New Republic specialise in. But we have a lot of infantry and some good... about to invade Corvus Minor, that's interesting. Probably that's sector. Well, we can do that. We can certainly take that on. We've got Pathfinder there, so let's move over to that. And try and invade Mintooine as well. Well, it's an interesting map. Not the greatest fan of this map. I wonder what they've got down here that I want to take. Mon Calamari Militia, that's interesting. So I want to go through here maybe at one point.
Choose your reinforcements.
It's an interesting one. Not going to go too infantry heavy, just because they do have a lot of T2Bs available, and those hover tanks will come out of the factories, and those will rip us apart.
Awaiting orders.
Not very keen to be ripped apart, to be honest. Quite averse to it. Trying to see if we could get a build pad on this area. There we go.
Yes, sir. Understood.
Just to protect that from any vehicles on our flanks.
Turret constructed.
We're available.
Construction complete.
Coordinates received.
So if we group these at 1, back to 2,
Any
put a
orders?
few of these in here, that'd be fine. Lovely stuff. Push up to take this.
Comlink active.
And I think really we push very deep. Should have been a bit quicker on this to go straight over here. Might have wanted to get a dropship really to take that, but not a bother. Not a bother. If we sentinel this one
More supplies.
and turret this one
Confirmed. Moving forward.
and this one. So with this landing zone secured, we're going to get 2 dropships as nasty scouts. And I think it'd be a good idea to get some sort of hero. We do have a lot of them. Doesn't provide any command. This one does. Does have back to healing. Yeah, we'll bring him just for some very minor command.
Orders received.
No sign of any enemies just yet. Interesting. Well, we will group these up. And what we can do is just scout ahead down here to see what the enemy's up to.
Affirmative.
I think, you know what, we stick to the lanes, you know, because that is what we're best at with our current composition. We do see some of these tanks finally, so get rid of the T2Bs if possible. Does this come with AI blasters, so we shouldn't be at too much of a risk here with these Imperial dropships. Do have a bombing run available as well actually, so it might even just go straight into their base in a second. Get rid of his infantry, does have rockets. And if we've picked up any... Yeah, let's bring that.
Your signal is garbled. We're on the go.
Okay, so let's scout ahead over here.
At your command. On the move.
This way, men.
Moving to position.
Pull back. Pull back. Yeah, those missiles are not very nice. Let's come over here.
Construction
Ready for
complete.
battle.
what we could do is it's a garrison. It is. So if we just make sure we build over here,
Beginning construction.
put 2 people in the garrison there, and what we can do is put it back to healing station here. I think. Hold hit. What's going on?
Yes, sir.
Find cover. Create a crossfire.
Prepare for assignment.
Orders acknowledged.
Okay, let's get up over here. That's a thermal detonator to chuck on the T2B. Might want to pull back. Focus that down.
Construction complete.
Awaiting your orders.
Stop.
It's time to move in for the kill.
Your orders.
That one would be down. Push through here. Get on here to back the healing. We'll shut this one here as well.
Give us a target.
Lovely. Helping against that. But they do have an anti-air turret there. Pull all the way back. Oh, that was spotted just at the last second. We can have some micro that the tiniest bit there. Get on top of that, please.
Awaiting orders.
Not being very good here whatsoever. Can't really see what we're doing with all this,
Orders received.
Copy.
these buildings.
Assault squad reporting.
Awaiting your orders.
Push up here.
Troop carrier, ready to pick up soldiers, sir.
Goes all the way back here.
I copy. Yes, Commander.
Lovely.
Target is
Can't trample because we're hovering. Should be able to get rid of these fairly easily. Not a bother.
reporting. Attack position.
Oh, that was nasty. We didn't make the back to heal in there, but not a bother. Wow. Okay, so we lost a bit of infantry there.
Construction.
Heading out.
Bit of infantry. Nearly lost our dropships, but not a bother.
Affirmative. Yes, sir.
Not a bother whatsoever. Let's pull up. Get a facing going. How are we doing over here? It's going to take some time. It's okay.
We're
Pull
available.
up here.
We're moving into position now.
Yes, Commander.
Fire on these, please.
I await your instructions.
Construction complete.
Any orders? Shouldn't be a problem.
Lots of support. What are we doing?
Constructing.
It's back to healing's very slow there.
Engage your weapon
On
systems.
top of these defense troopers.
Out. Incoming fire approaching. We could use more supplies.
Should be able to get through with our heavy rockets with our raptors.
Give us
Lovely.
those coordinates again.
Move out.
Taking
Yes,
lookout
What
position.
we see here, I did see a rocket come through.
Give us a signal.
Capture that and push up.
To run around.
Cool.
Ready and able.
I think we're still going to go with the tactic of just flying in and bombarding their base. So if we just sit pretty here,
Your orders.
Spread out, men. Take cover. That wasn't clear. Repeat.
What is the directive?
okay, as we see anti-infantry turret, stop there, get rid of that while we can. Those rockets are going to hurt a bit, let's just pull him. Bomb there, see what angle it's coming through. That should only hit those two then. Hey, what are you doing? What are you doing?
Destination confirmed.
Welcome aboard, soldiers.
See how that bombing run hits, we might want to bombard the rest.
I can get that.
Come on. You know you can get those two at least. That's not going to hurt the tax office, but not a bother. Tell you what, let's just bring in the infantry.
Find cover. Create a crossfire.
Help destroy that. Bombard that to save some time.
Bombardment incoming.
Just press fast forward now because we are sitting pretty damn pretty now. Once again.
Spread out. Incoming fire approaching.
Lovely. So, just making sure we're cleaning up now. And that will be Mintooine ours. Lovely. And there we go. Lovely jubbly indeed. Let's just finish creating what we need to down here. We're going to tax Mon Calamari because why not? Get some infantry going there and of course get the required space stations. Let's... Ooh, we missed that. Forgot about that. They got a Praetor battle carrier. It's going to be juicy. We're just a little off of intercepting that properly, but we will be able to get that before they get any land units through. Well, we're being treated very nicely today by a Praetor battle carrier. That is absolutely brilliant. So, we're going to want to pull back the tiniest bit here. Let's Get you over here. Were you a slaver? You were. Okay, I'll bring him back.
Underway.
Bring this back even further. Just double check how that's looking.
Moving out.
Lovely stuff.
I'll get there.
And we want loads of lancers
This way.
because, of course, a carrier, funnily enough, produces loads and loads of fighters and bombers, doesn't it?
Moving to coordinates. Vectors
And we'll
set.
heal through the rest, I think, where possible.
Understood. Moving to sector.
Lovely. And we get some Star Destroyers going as well.
We're moving out.
Get a Lancer in the back there. Victories.
Move out. Let's go.
Very
Navigating
nice
to
indeed.
coordinates.
Great stuff. So, this doesn't have the greatest amount of firepower in itself, does it? But it's got deep reserves of fighters and bombers, as you would well expect. And look at all the money we're getting off of our hero here.
At your command.
Excellent stuff. So we're going to try and flank around to this side over here. Get our bombers over to start pounding its shields. Make sure we are definitely targeting this. Yeah, we certainly are. Come over here to make sure we're in range and we're facing properly.
Reporting.
Yeah, that's going to start focusing our hero, so we want to make sure we're removing some hard points very quickly indeed. Let's get on top of these turbo lasers where possible.
Holding fire for maximum effect. I copy.
There we go. So turbo lasers,
Excellent
turbo lasers, heavy quad turbo lasers there. You can see our health dipping here in the top. Not great.
Priority is the laser cannons. The lasers are our target.
Get the middle firing ones actually because they're going to have the greatest arcs of fire onto us.
Enemies
We don't like that at all.
Is the laser cannons. Reporting.
Start onto this side as well. Let's group some things up here so we can start flicking about.
Star Destroyer reporting in.
Weapons charged. Frequency open. Fleet.
Like so. Easy game. By the time we've targeted one, we should have destroyed the other.
Adobe battleship reporting. Battleship standing.
Lovely. And how we're looking over here could be better, but we've got rid of enough of those. In fact, we've got rid of all of the weapons systems here. And that is 2,000 credits from that. That's it. I might expect a little more, but you know, it's the most we've seen so far from salvage. Lovely. That would be a massive amount of credits for them to recoup there. Absolutely brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. Might want to take Gravlex space as well while that sector's there and isolated, but we'll just wait to see if the enemy's bringing in any ground units into that orbital space, and we'll start producing things here. We don't see anything happening, do we? Over here. So let's just double check they don't have a hypervelocity cannon. They don't. They've got a lot of infantry as well as Boba Fett's. But this should be fairly easy to take the orbital space, and then we can call it a day there, I think, for this episode. Okay, so we're absolutely going to use our interdiction capabilities. We do not want this sector to get away. I believe they're around 9,000 to 10,000 credit cost, and of course it does take a while to produce them. They're excellent battle carriers in themselves, so certain what to bring in. Well, the same ships really. Let's pull back a tiny bit with this one.
Moving to coordinates.
Move forwards with
Coordinates now.
these two. Come in here as well. Good range on the aggressor there, and use these Star Destroyers as well on the
We shall be there
flanks.
shortly.
Lovely. Let's get in some of these, just produce some more bombers, I think. That's been cancelled, but not a bother. Let's get on top with these Lancers. Using the top-down view very specifically because I like to double-check the positions, make sure on the noses of our larger ships.
Carrick en route. Understood. Moving to
Try and overlap some of this. Over there. Lovely.
coming about. Destination
Cool.
confirmed.
Just going to go full firepower, destroyed the Venator already. Shields are pretty much down over here, which is excellent stuff. That aggressor's done brilliant work.
get him off me.
Let's get our bombers onto the massive cluster over here. And just make sure our lancers and stuff, well, they've ripped apart most of their fighters and bombers already, actually. They're just not making any progress towards us.
Forming up. Stay in
And
formation.
that is absolutely brilliant. I love to see it. Absolutely love to see it. Let's just target these specifically and go for the proton torpedoes on this wing.
Our target priority is
Yeah,
the
we've ripped
laser
apart that so quickly. I'm loving these Kildavi battleships. Just brings so much firepower to bear, and the mass drivers are equally good against shields and armor. So they bring so much to the table, and that's only 100 for a sector there.
Awaiting orders.
Not a bother. The main target is down, and we'll just capture the orbital space here. We might even just keep ourselves above here and blockade this, you know, to make sure they don't bring in any nasty ground reinforcements. Because if we can push over to this area of space, it's a nice little choke point once again into the bloody Pentastar alignment space. And there we go. Very nice pickup there indeed. But that is going to have to be it for today, everyone. Not the greatest amount done, but you know what? Baby steps, baby steps. Got a lot of progress to make towards Pentastar alignment, don't we? But you know what? It will happen. It will certainly happen. We made some excellent gains against the Imperial remnants over here. I think that cluster of planets has to be our next target in terms of this area of space, because that then opens up Kumena all the way over to Balmor and Kuat quite nicely as well. Some very important planets once you've broken through the Hapan space. So, thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope to see you in the future. May all of your nights and days be auspicious. Goodbye.